Hi guys, it's Jordan from P&P Campers. I'm just going to be doing a handover video on this Hymer Ayres Rock. So the Ayres Rock is as you can probably tell, a van conversion based on the Fiat Ducato cab. But the van conversions of these Hymers are absolutely fantastic. Obviously you've got the high top roof, and don't worry, it's not actually touching that bar. It's close, but it's not touching it. Yeah, well, I mean, they've started sort of doing these kind of bigger van conversions with the pop-top roofs. It's not really something that's been going on for particularly long, so there's not loads of these things around, but I absolutely love them. So I'll show you around the inside when we get to it, but for now, I'll show you around the outside of the vehicle, go all the way around, and then I'll jump in the cab and then into the back. So under the bonnet, we've got this is the newest, well, actually, sorry, they've just bought out a new cab, brand new, but this is the second newest cab. So you've got the washer fluid, power steering fluid and engine coolant, brake fluid, engine oil and dipstick. You've got the paint code just in here, so that's 549, and that's the white colour that runs through the entire vehicle. Chassis plate just here. Now, because the engine battery sits under the floor in the cab, just in front of the passenger seat, you have got a positive terminal just underneath this little cover here, and a negative terminal just up here. And it does say there, only for jump start. So that is the sort of easy and quick way to get to your engine battery terminals just there if you need to jump start it. Air filter sits inside this little circular box down here. And the rest of it is all kind of, you know, random filters and bits and pieces. You don't really need to know too much about that. Fuel filter sits at the back just there. But yeah, that's about it really. So front near side, you've got your bonnet release handle just inside the door. You've got your power supply, or your PSU, basically power supply unit, and that is an EBL unit, so that's an electroblock unit. So essentially what that does is it takes the power from your leisure battery, your engine battery, hookup, all that sort of stuff goes to that and then gets diverted off to wherever it needs to go to inside the vehicle from that box. You've then got your diesel filling point from inside there. You will need your ignition key to get that to open up. Next door to that, we've got your electric hookup point. So if you have got access to a hookup cable, really handy to have that plugged in. It means that you don't have to worry about any leisure battery voltage. It means you can use your 240 volt appliance inside the van as well. And I'll run you through those in a minute. This little vent just here is for if you've got your heating on, you will feel hot air coming out through here at the bottom. So that's one way of double checking it's definitely working. Down underneath here, we've got your wastewater drain off point. So you will need a little handle to go onto this. We can supply you with one of those, but that is where you drain out your wastewater from. Just above that, we've got your toilet cassette locker. So the toilet cassette is super easy to use. So you've got a little orange handle at the front. Lift up on the orange handle and lift the cassette towards you. That means then you can take it all the way out and then go and empty it out wherever you need to empty it out. You've got this little swivel handle just here, so that is where you empty it from, and it's also where you fill up your blue fluid back inside. About a cap's worth of blue fluid goes back in, and then you swish it about and push it all the way back in. Make sure that goes down nice and flush. And that's it. That's how you use the toilet cassette. Nice and easy. Oop. I've then got, at the back of the van, you've got this little circular thing here. So this is your refillable gas point. So because you've got a couple of LPG bottles, I'll just run you through those quickly whilst we're here. I'll show you them at least. So you've got a couple of these bottles here. These are Gaslow bottles. That's the company that sort of make these. So if you want to fill the Gaslow bottles back up, you've got your filling point just there. If you're going to go abroad, you will need the adapters to go onto that. Depending on what country you're going to, they've all got their own different adapters for the auto gas. But at the moment, you've got the bayonet fitting for the UK. So the bottles themselves are very, very easy. You haven't got to do anything with them apart from turn them on and off. So to turn them on and off, we've got a valve on each of them. This big yellow one here is the valve for this one on the left. So clockwise around to the right will turn the bottle off. Same goes for this one here. Clockwise around to the right turns it off. Anti-clockwise around to the left turns it on. You've also got, because this is a Hymer, it's a high-end vehicle, you've got the regulator warmer. So I will show you how to use that as we get into the van itself. But that's it really for the bottles. It's nice and easy. So a couple of bits the previous owner has left behind in the back of the van. You've got your jack and wheel brace kit just inside here, and then you've got loads of storage underneath these sides. All right, so nice and easy to get to there. Once you've got this bed lifted out of the way, really, really easy to access all of that sort of stuff. You've got your bike rack on this offside door here, so you can use that as and when you need to. Freshwater filling point is this one just here on the rear offside. Okay, that's locked at the moment. If you want to get to the fresh tank, if I just point this out to you, you've got access to it from the top. All right, you can lift this little top piece off and you'll have access to the fresh tank and the freshwater drain off point as well. So freshwater filling point, as I said, fill this up whenever you get to wherever you're going, fill that up, and then it will start overflowing underneath when it's filled completely to the brim. There is a way of checking it on the control panel as well, which I'll show you as we get inside. You've got the full size awning just there, so your wind out awning there. It's a Omnistore wind out awning, and that'll give you some sunshade from up there. So what I will do is run you through the control panel and these bits up here first, and then carry on around the other bits. In fact, before I even do that, just realised I've forgotten to show you through the cab, so let me just do that quickly. So the cab itself on here is a very, very nice spec. So you've got the automatic gearbox, which is, well, becoming more and more difficult to get really. The majority of motorhomes that are bought from the factory are manual. So when you find an automatic one, it's you know, definitely a very good thing. So you've got the automatic gearbox there. You then got the cruise control stalk just underneath here. Lights and indicators, washers and wipers. You have also then got the a couple of things on here actually. So you've got your electric folding mirrors, electric adjusting mirrors, and you obviously got your electric windows there as well. Again, because it's a high-end vehicle, you have also got the option, sorry, just trying to show you. So you've got this little switch just here. So if I turn this button on here, what it does is it turns the power onto your head unit here via the leisure battery. So essentially you can use this head unit when your ignition is off, and so that it won't drain out your engine battery. Okay, so we can go through and you can have a little look at the camera, I think, even, yeah. But we can go through and use the radio however we want to. Obviously it'll update the stations. If you're using DAB, it'll update every time you go to use it, or most times. All right, but that's the way that you can use this without the ignition on, and that's the kind of thing that you would, you know, normally get with a high-end vehicle like this one. There you go.
But I guess
so you can turn that off just by turning that button just there off, and that will turn the center screen off. You have then obviously got your air conditioning from that switch just there in the middle, and your heater controls just next door to that. Because you've got the automatic gearbox, you've got these couple of options down here. I'll be honest with you, I'm not completely up to date on what they do exactly. I'm pretty sure this one here is to do with if you've got the cruise control on. It's like a downhill assist type thing. But yeah. So over on the left, we've also got USB socket and a 12-volt socket there as well. you've got a little USB sticking out of the dash just there. That's to do with this stereo. So if you wanted to hook up your phone to that, then it will run through to that. There was the USB option on there, so you can plug that into that. Yeah, I think that's about it really. So I shall spin around and jump into the back end of the van. So you obviously still have got the access to doing that. Both of these front seats will swivel round as well. So once you've got your table sort of up here, you can have both front seats swivel round, and it's got a nice sort of area then, like a lounge area. So control panel is all touch screen and unbelievably easy to use. So if I just zoom in a touch, so we've got your main on and off switch just here. So that will just turn everything on and off regardless of what's on. So if you want to just switch everything off, do that, and that's everything turned off. Once you've got that on, you have got your water pump switch just above that. So having the water pump switch on there, you've got a submersible pump in this vehicle, so that means that the water pump will not turn on unless you actually open the tap. So you hear the little switch that's coming on and off when I do that. That's called a micro switch, and that's what tells the pump when to run. So unlike a lot of other vehicles where you've got an inline pump that works on pressure, this one works on switch. So turn that on like that. Right, so water pump just there, straightforward. Over on the right hand side, we've got your battery indicators and water indicators. So the top one just here, if I press and hold on that, it's telling us our leisure battery voltage, which is on 12.2, so that's absolutely fine. Fresh water level, we're on 25%. Wastewater level, completely empty. And fresh water, engine battery voltage, 12.5. All right, so if your electric hookup was plugged in, you would have this little light come up here next to this little symbol here, and you could expect that your leisure battery voltage will be right up to the top on 13.5. All the time that you haven't got the hookup plugged in, it's very, very normal for it to be down at sort of 12 to 12.5 volts. That is a resting battery voltage, and in fact, if you've got a few things on like I do at the moment, like I've got the lights on and etc., it's, you know, I would be surprised if it wasn't down at 12.2. If it was any higher than that, I would expect it to have, you know, whacking great big solar panel or whatever. But there you go. Plus I'm under the canopy right now, so even if it did have a panel, it's not going to be doing very much. Right, so next door to that, we've got your Truma iNet Ready system. Now this is your heating and hot water. This little circular black thing next door to it is the thermostat for this. So if you want to use the heating, you go through, if I press and hold on this, turn it on. You've essentially got your heating, which is from this little switch on the left here, which is flashing. You've got your hot water. You've got your energy selector, and you've got your fan speed. And that is it. That's it in its basic format. That is what that is. Okay, so let's just say I mean, at the moment, I haven't got the hookup plugged in, so I can't use anything on the mains right now. I can only use things on the gas. So I'll have to go through to my energy selector, which again is that one there. Click on it and make sure that we've got gas selected. We have also got the option of mix 1 and mix 2, which is a mixture of gas and electric, or electric 1 or electric 2. Now, obviously, as I said, we haven't got the electric hookup plugged in, so I can't use it on any other one than gas. So I'll choose gas. Right, so now this whole system is sort of wired up, or, you know, it's going to work on gas. Whatever we tell it to do over here, it will do it on gas. So let's just say, I mean, it's a very hot day today, so I certainly don't want the heating on. But if I just sort of show you how you would use it, press on this one just here and select your temperature, whatever you want it to be, up to 30. Once you've got your desired temperature on the screen, you press the button and the heating will come to life. As for right now, I only want the hot water on, so I'll select this one here. I will choose either Eco, Hot, or Boost, and press Go. So you can now see that now that I've done that and something's actually happening with the boiler, it's telling us that the gas is being used and the water is on Boost. It's going to flash at us for a minute whilst it's heating up, but that is literally all you have to do. if I just show you what would happen if you did turn the heating on, I have to go all the way up to the top, I would think. And it's going to tell us there the heating's on as well. So as long as, if I just turn all of these two things off, if I turn these two things off, you'll see that everything goes off above this little black line here. So as long as there's nothing above that black line, it means the boiler is not doing anything at all. The rest of it is all sort of timers, so you can select a timer from this one just here. You can change the clock, and the settings, you haven't got to go into that at all. That's more for us resetting them and all that sort of stuff. So that's your heating in hot water. Really, really nice and easy. Next door to that, we've got the regulator heater, as I mentioned, outside. So if you wanted it in your summer setting, like it is now, you go down to the bottom, and your winter setting is go up. So basically all that does is it allows the regulator a little bit of warmth and stops it from sort of freezing up. Okay, so it's just, again, something you would have in high-end vehicles, and the reason that you would really use that is if you were going to go somewhere really extreme, you know, really, really cold or something, and you might need to use it then. But there you go. So that is it for up there, really. That's all those three things explained. We've got your electric step working really nicely, and below that we have got your isotherm 12-volt fridge. So this is a compressor fridge, as opposed to a standard sort of three-way fridge, you would call them. Now the big plus side to these compressor fridges, or the 12-volt fridges, is how quickly they get cold. So you will be amazed how quickly this thing gets cold. So if you imagine, you know, if you've got a new fridge at home, when you first plug it in, it's going to take a good 3 or 4 hours or so to get cold. I turned this fridge on about, I don't know, 5 minutes before this video. So let's just say 20 minutes this fridge has been on, and it was hot in here before I got in. I kid you not, you probably can't see it, but there is ice in that freezer tray. All right, I actually cannot hold my hand on that for very long. So that is how quickly these fridges get cold. Now, I will say they will draw a fair amount of power. So if you are going to be wild camping, then if you're using this fridge all the time, which you probably will be, you need to make sure that you just keep your eye on that leisure battery voltage up there on the control panel. If it starts getting a little bit low, all you need to do is just turn the engine over for a little bit, just leave it running for a little bit, and it'll charge that leisure battery back up again as it's running. But realistically, once these things are cold, they don't really use that much power. It's only when they start, you know, when you start getting them cold from hot. But yeah, I love these little compressor fridges. They're so good. This is a particularly deep one as well, so you've got quite a lot of space in there, more than it looks like. And then the only other thing that you need to know about is that you've got your temperature selector up there at the top, and that is how you turn it off as well. So if I go all the way back round to 0, the fridge is now off. Obviously when I shut the door, the light will go off as well, but as long as that thing there is down at 0, that fridge is completely off. You have got this little thing just here, which is, I know really it's for babies and things to stop getting into stuff, but it's like a, in case you're driving along and it opens up, it won't actually open up whilst you're driving. Okay, so we've also got the Dometic 2-burner hob. So you've got your ignition switches here for those. I'll just show you. Gas flame coming on really nicely. It's really important that you make sure that you allow these two to cool off after you've used them. You know, it's more so for if you've used them for actually cooking and use them for some time. Just please allow them to cool right down before you start putting this lid down, because, you know, yes, they are reinforced glass, but if you put them down directly after switching them off, it will more than likely shatter. So just bear that in mind. One thing I need to just explain about the water system as well. because you've got the boiler, you've got the hot water heater, you do need to make sure that the boiler is actually full up of water before you start trying to use it. So what I mean by that is literally all you have to do is two things. Make sure that you've got some water in the tank, which we do, 25%. Turn your water pump on, and then draw the water through on the hot side of this tap. And as long as we get decent pressure coming through here and it's not coughing at us and spluttering all over the place, then the boiler is definitely full. If the boiler wasn't full up of water, you wouldn't get any water coming through there, and at least if you did, it would be coughing and spluttering all over the place, and it wouldn't be very nice at all. So that's how you just double check that your boiler is definitely full up of water. Once you've done that, it literally takes a few seconds. Once you've done that, you can go ahead and use the boiler however you want to. So behind us then, we've got the bathroom. So this shower point will pull out from here or go back in if you want to use it as the sink. This is obviously a sink just here. It might seem unusual how to use it, but essentially you just draw the water through and then it will drain down the back. All right, that is quite normal. Obviously this screen will come across for when you're using the shower or the toilet. The toilet is normally the only bit that I actually explain, because it's, you know, the rest of it's pretty just self-explanatory. That's obviously just literally shower, hose. You know, when you're not using it, you would lift this up and out of the way like that. And you've got a little thing in there that you can push to lock it up. So it's all pretty self-explanatory stuff, but the toilet is the only bit that I normally run through. So the actual toilet itself is unbelievably simple, but if you don't know how to use it, you don't know how to use it. So you've got a blue button over here on the right. So if I just show you that. So the fan will start up first time, press it again, and the flush fluid comes through. You then open up this drain, and that drains it into the cassette. Close it back over, and then turn your fan off. And that really is it. There is, you know, it doesn't get much easier than that. That is how you would flush the toilet and use it. Light obviously comes on from that little switch just there. But yeah, quite a sort of neat little bathroom. You've got all, you know, everything you need in there, but it's a very, very small, compact area. But, you know, works really nicely actually. You've still got, you know, space to stand up and move around. So, as I say, this will come all the way across. It's got a magnetic strip there to hold it in place. Ladder just here is the ladder to get up into your overcab area. And as you can probably tell, it is ginormous. So you get loads of space in there. You have got a little light in there to see a bit easier at night. And a blue one there as well. Very nice. Ladder goes up onto the side just here and allows you to step up this way rather than your conventional sort of going up from this way. Makes life a lot easier going up that side. Forward facing seat belts, so you've got 4 proper seat belts in here, proper over the shoulder belts. Yeah, so I think that's about it really. I don't think there's much else to run you through. If there's anything you think I've missed out or anything you want going over again, just let us know. But otherwise, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thanks very much.